everyone, welcome to Sidebuster Living and our Money Management Monday video. If you are new, the reason I began these videos was mainly I've been trying to talk about finance for a long time, trying to share how our family of 7 makes it on a below poverty income budget. One of those ways is I am a babysitter and I have a very rambunctious little kid. Hold on. Play with your toys. I really wanted to show how it was possible for a family to make it on a small budget, especially after I've pretty much lived this way my entire marriage. And a lot of times I would hear people just say, I don't know how to do it, and they would make double what we made. Over the years, I've learned that some of that just has to do with the fact that the less you make, sometimes there are benefits for you in making less. Some of that being covered in the video that I did, which I will I will leave link down below. I don't do chapters. I have to watch myself enough with editing. I don't need to watch myself again adding chapters. Alright, so in that video I kind of covered, hey, maybe you make a little bit more here, but now you have to pay a little bit more elsewhere. Okay, not to say that it means that we all need to stay below the poverty level in order to have a fulfilling life. That's not what I mean at all. I just wanted to show it is possible, especially for those that want to be stay-at-home moms. Alright. Hi. In this video, I want to cover a lot of lessons that I learned this year. We're kind of getting into the season, and for me, I start thinking about the new year and things that I want to change and grow and put in practice and all of that. Some of the things that I did last year that will be covered in that, and we'll start with that, is my no spend year. I really wanted to have a 100% successful no spend year. And I have to say that even though I cannot call it a complete success, I definitely bought things that were not needed. The ultimate goal was to really think about the purchases I was making and to really cut back on just because it's cheap and discounted. That doesn't necessarily mean it's something I need. I'm not putting that right. But the main goal was just to cut down on purchases that weren't really needed. Going forward into the year 2023, will I do a whole nother no spend year? I'm not going to start with a whole nother no spend year. I want to work it up, because another thing that I've known this about me, but it's not that I forget, or maybe it's just I really don't see practically how this works as a full scope, and that is I am an all or nothing girl. I want it done perfectly the first time, or I really don't want to attempt it. I'm trying to figure out how to say this while not getting too distracted by kids in the background. Even though I had kind of fallen down with not being as strict about not purchasing unneeded items, I had not been as diligent. Probably about halfway into the year, I would say May was a really big dropping point for me. I still think, reflective-wise, looking back, it's been a really good case. It's getting a little loud. It's been a really good growing year for me. I've gotten a lot better. And a lot of that has to do, too, as I finish up this year, of my husband and I kind of going back and forth, and we were just like, why are we constantly just moving stuff? And not really wanting to live that and wanting to be more minimal. Well, if we want to live more minimal, that means less stuff needs to come in. We're heading into the Christmas season. Being really intentional about what's coming in makes you think a lot. Okay, so in terms of my no spend year, no, it is not a complete success, but I was working on goals, was working on getting better, and I will call that a success. Another thing I want to address here in regards to why I share these day to day, I'm not coming on here as an expert, as in hey, look what I've done forever. I'm a natural born saver. I can naturally just know that this needs to be this, this, and this. I'm actually coming to you as a hot mess when it comes to finances. I'm just a hot mess. I can make things work, but it does not come naturally to me. It does not. And the older I get, I would think that years of experience would just make things more easy and more natural. But I actually find that different challenges come up that I have to kind of work in and work towards and whatnot. So, you know, those that come here thinking that I wanted it to be I had visions of this being more of a group of people that struggle like me, that just don't know how people naturally do this. I wanted this. I have friends that are just natural. It's one of those frustratingly beautiful things about them. They're just like, well, just don't do it. Yeah, so easy. I have a friend that, she was in the store one day, she snapped a picture of something and she sent it to me. I'm like, well, why didn't you get it? And she's like, well, it wasn't on the list. That's just who she is. She'll go with her list and she gets what's on her list, and it better not go over this amount, and that's just who she is, but that is not necessarily all of us. So I'm not coming to you as an expert in this. As a matter of fact, I would consider myself like Confessions of a Shopaholic. It's easier for me to purchase things and justify those purchases than to just be disciplined and stick to the budget and stick to what we need. A lot of it isn't necessarily I'm not the kind of person that will go and I don't want to turn into like a comparison trap thing where it's like, well, at least I'm not like this. But, you know, I think of things of like, this would be nice for the home. I'll just grab this. I very rarely purchase things that are just for me, with the exception of something like books. But I hate clothes shopping. I hate shoe shopping. I hate product shopping. The things that make us look beautiful, makes us a woman, like separates us, for lack of a better word. I don't enjoy those things. I really don't. Every time I find clothes that a style I like, it doesn't work for my body, and so I don't enjoy clothes shopping. Shoes. I hate putting money out for shoes when I don't have normal feet. And so there is nothing delicate and dainty and beautiful about me. There's nothing. Okay? I am a large boned woman that's very hard to fit because I'm curvy and narrow, and so there's nothing there that I enjoy shopping. I do like to look around, I do like to look at beautiful things, and I like to see things as love gifts for others. So when it comes to shopping, that's my one weakness. But in terms of a whole stick to the budget, stick to only what we need to have, that does not come naturally to me. Some things about this past year and reflective of the budget. Alright, I'm back. Let's see if we can do this. I don't think you can see my baby. Okay, here you go. Eat your milk. Eat your milk. Yum, 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 yum. Okay. What I was trying to say is some of the things that I learned about this year. Well, along with a lot of the rest of the world, inflation. So the idea was to have $700 a month for groceries, and up until the last 2 months, we have definitely gone way over that. I want to say our average is between $8 and $9.50, our average. And a lot of that is not just groceries. A lot of that has to do with things like toilet paper and household things and whatnot. I would like to be more diligent and better about keeping good records this year. Again, if it's not perfect, I tend not to attempt it. But this year I came across Our Small Footprint here on YouTube. I really enjoy her. She is a I'm rocking a baby that's eating. I know this is a distraction and such a difficult thing to deal with the noise in the background and me just doing life and taking time out to film this. Sorry, it's my real life. Anyway, she is a fantastic record keeper over in Australia. She's a homesteader, and they are working up to grocery shopping. I think their goal is like only 6 months at a time. And then she shares every certain amount of time, I think they're up to 6 weeks now, of how she does that, the record she keeps, and how the food at the beginning, like how they eat, and I really enjoy her videos. And in Australia, it's gardening season for her, and so I get to watch all that while I'm freezing here in Indiana. So please check that out, especially because one of my goals this next year is to get up to a point of shopping once a month. Because another thing that in reflection, oh, I'm causing it to, go on blurry. Sorry about that. I would like to have held it up for you. Feel better? Do you feel better? Another thing I would have liked to have held up to you is I, for the first time ever, saved every single receipt that I possibly could. I'm not, again, couldn't do it all. I saved every receipt, recorded every purchase, including e-receipts that I got in my notebook so that I could keep track of our expenditures this year, and I will share that with you at the end of the year in January. But Joshua Becker has this thing on his Facebook page about how that little stack of receipts tell a story. Oh yeah, they do. If you look at my receipts, a lot of it is food. A lot of it is food or household. Most of the time, the frivolous purchases are Amazon. Something here, something there. Again, not necessarily, because a lot of times it's just household things. Okay, I need to just let that go. I'm trying to justify it to myself more than anybody else here. But, those little receipts do tell a story, and my story is cut back on the number of times to go shopping. Being literally a block away from the Dollar General does not help our family in regards to health or wealth. And that's definitely another goal. Again, was really good at the beginning, kind of gotten a little bit slack here towards the end. So those definitely told a story, and my story is we're doing better next year because, well, no, that I put the baby down. Hold on. Here's my story so far. Every single receipt for 2022 that I can find, that I've saved. I want to do better. I want to do a lot better. And I want to compare it each year. I'm not one to save things. I definitely one that's like, nope, toss it. I don't like the clutter. I've married somebody that saves every single thing, and I can't stand it. But I have a goal in mind with this, and it sits in a little shoebox, and I have a goal. I'm going to rubber band this. Next year, I want it to be half that size. The year after that, I want it to be half that. My goal for 2025 is going to just be something like that. It's a goal. Maybe not realistic, but it's a goal. Right, Steven? We can do this. So, in terms of realistic budgeting, it wasn't realistic, but I have a goal kind of seeing how our small footprint has done it. I would like to kind of tweak it to fit our family. Her having being a larger family and homeschooling definitely was kind of a relatable thing, and for me, relatable things that I can relate to help me a lot in trying to aim towards something. So when I wanted to be minimalist, I needed to find people that were like me in the sense of large families, homeschooling. What does that look like for you? And then I could go. So that's going to be something going forward, especially because I think inflation is really going to start hitting us hard. And with that, let's talk about the next thing. I know I'm really trying to pack a lot of this into the video, and it doesn't help when I get distracted. So one day while I was at waiting in line at the pickup line for the kid I babysit, I was like, you know what, let me come up with a ideal budget. If I had an ideal budget, if we had like a certain amount, what would that look like? Okay, so if I had an ideal budget, I would need to add about $15,300 to my husband's annual income. My husband's annual income is about, we're gonna roll with this. Okay, so because of my wonderful helper over here, so I'm gonna bring this up. Your poverty line income for a family of 7 each month is $3,493. If I could do the numbers that I would like to do, we were at 42,000.
Yeah, 42,200.
42,200. If I had the numbers that I would like to have, it would be 43,300 and something. Let's say 43,400. So $200 more than the poverty line. 200. And here's what that would look like. My ideal budget. On top of, I've done another video on this on like all of our electric bill or utility bills and all of that. Utility bills, piano lessons, gas, tithe, etc. Tithes obviously go up. Here's what I would love to have on top of that. I would love to have $850 a month for groceries. I would love to have $50 a month to put into clothing, which would be $600 annual, which is a little bit less than $100 per person, but my husband and I really don't need a whole lot of anything. I would love to put $80 in car repair or replacement, which is about almost $1,000 a year. I would like to put $75 into medical and health, so things like supplements and chiropractors and things that just come up. I would love to put $75 a month aside for that. I would love to put $50 aside for miscellaneous items. Things like gifts or things on Amazon that maybe doesn't necessarily fit into a certain budget. I would love to put $20 a month aside for homeschool. I would like to put $50 a month into replacement or repair funds. Things like washer and dryer or any type of machine, upkeep, repair, replacement, all that. And I would like to put $100 into savings every month, that diligent thing. Obviously there is nothing like a vacation fund. There is nothing extravagant on there. That's just the basic, if I could get the funds for. And putting all of that down and then kind of comparing it with what we have that we can do was just eye-opening on how little we really make. So then my thought was, okay, so my husband on average brings about $1,500 a month in. Our cost of living without groceries is about $2,100. That leaves $600 that I need to come up with every single month. So that's kind of a look at this past year with how the no-spend year went, how inflation kind of impacted us, especially when it's every month we have averaged about pulling a significant number of savings. We've never been able to just not pull from savings each month. And that's something that we recognize, and that's why the tax return really helps us through the rest of the year for that. And it's just is. So for those that have been here for a while, I hope this kind of gives you just, I don't know if this is encouragement. It's just a chat. It just is. And the idea here in all of this is just to show that it is possible. And I think this next year of really trying to meet that really big goal I have of doubling our mortgage payment each month, I think that's going to be kind of a crazy one. And I know some people don't get it. Some people do not get, why would you do this and when you can just coast along and use that money elsewhere? Because once that financial burden of your house is paid off, I cannot tell you that feeling. I cannot fully explain to it because I've done it before. And that month of not having to pay anything on it is such an accomplished feeling. And it adds so much more to your pocket than you really think. It's not just your mortgage payment with the interest in it. It's not just that. It's much more than that. And that's the goal I have. And usually goals like that mean that you've got a lot of struggles coming up, things that we could end up with a huge car replacement issue that needs to happen. I mean, right now I've got a vehicle that I can't use. Things like that just will come up and kind of really create a little havoc, but it's a goal. And it's what I'll be working towards. Working on my little homestead here to make it as self-sufficient for us as humanly possible, because when things are grown off of our land with our own resources, that helps take a little bit of pressure off the grocery bill, in the sense that I can eat more organically from our own homestead than I can afford to pay for it at a grocery store. And one of the reasons that the last couple of months we've been able to stay under our grocery budget is because I've had all of the stuff that I've put up able to be used and eaten and whatnot. And so that has really helped us. Okay, this video is going to be super long if I don't end here and try to edit out, and especially all the ramblings and the interruptions. So this is just one of those update videos. This is just one of those, here's all of the stuff that I learned this year. Hopefully you could take it and have a reflection time of your own. Things that I really want to work on are just the numbers and the diligence in keeping track of things, and just doing better with what I have, where I am, and whatnot. So I thank you for joining me today, and I will see you next time.